Someone just looking for you, but I have to go down by the elevator.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so it's coming back. You see?
Yeah.
Where the
Thank you.
yeah, okay. Hey man, how are you?
My name is Bruno Testore Schmidt, and I was one of the people who came there from the very first day. I live around the corner. We used to meet all the friends there all the time and do everything that we did. 1979 or something? Yeah, 79 or 78. We go to SVA, and I used to go right around the corner and go there to visit. Hey, Fred. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah. Good to see you. Yeah. It was the one place on earth that was like that at that moment.
My name is Ellen Birkenlitt, and I had my first painting show at Club 57 in 1983. Wait, Duncan, maybe you want to fill in a little bit. What happened at Club 57?
Mayhem, play acting, the Jetsons, that happened. We happened. Club 57 was a little kind of bubble of lunacy in kind of a dark time, right? It was a dark time then, a lot of death, heroin, etc. But at Club 57, it was all, you can be whoever you want to be. Don't you think?
It was Halloween every night.
Yeah.
There was a time none of us went above 14th Street. Now we're fucking MoMA.
I know.
You know, Club 57 was definitely unique in that it was like the art crowd. Like the Mud Club was like the music crowd, you know, and a little older. So every club had their like thing, but Club 57...
Club 57 was a little goofy. Stanley was the guy who was the Polish guy at the church who hooked up Club 57 to be a youth group in a basement of a Polish church. And really advocate, you know, and people go like, but it's really degenerate, it's really crazy. And he'd be like, well, our youth are more troubled now. We have to be more understanding.
There's a certain synergy that comes when you mix cultures. Like jazz, blues, and rock and roll came out of Congo Square in New Orleans because that's where cultures could mix. Club 57 is where everybody could mix and there was no, you know what I mean? Everybody came from different backgrounds. When you get 50 people together, if you create the right environment and allow them to be super creative in improvisation, they can create unbelievable art.
My name is Fred Brathwaite. People know me as Fab Five Freddy. And I make paintings, I make culture, I disrupt, I shake it up, and I exhibited at Club 57. So this is a work that I made during that time frame. The other piece on the other side, Kneecap Art Pimps, was a piece that I actually showed at Club 57. So it was fun. It was a fun place. Anything goes. I was good friends with Keith Haring, and that's how I got to get familiar with Club 57, and then became friends with, you know, Kenny Scharf and Ann Magnuson and a bunch of the core crew. So I would be there often for different events.
My name is Sean Mcquade. I was also known as Ammo, and the first thing I did with Club 57 was I was a go-go dancer for the Ladies Auxiliary Slumber Party. I started doing fashion shows, and then I did happenings there, and I did performances of dance and music there. And it was like, you could just think up these things and do them there. So this is the wire dress that I made for Kitty. I wanted to use this cool wire, so I made this dress with it. And then Kitty, who was just the best sport in the world for art, wore it. Oh, here she is.
And Sean made this dress for me 2 years ago.
I
know, I saw that. That wasn't planned, trust me. I was just walking by.
That's amazing. Yeah, so this is Kitty, the best sport in the world for art.
I was his muse, and Sean was wonderful enough to make this dress for me 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's an original.
It's all lace and there's no sewing. It's all paper fasteners and cleverness.
I am Animal X. Animal is in RAW, and X is in marks the spot. And X I use because it's the best letter in the alphabet. You know? I got into the Club 57 crowd. Basically, I predated it a little bit. I was at School of Visual Arts with Kenny, but I dropped out of it because I was too busy partying. And in fact, Keith, I think, never forgave me that one time I was graffitiing in the SVA, and I was doing this text piece going all the way down the wall, all the way down the stair, all the way down the wall, right over what he was graffitiing. And I just kept writing and writing, and then I went upstairs and came all the way down again. So after that, we weren't best buds. But you don't think about those things, you know? You're just like, I'm doing what I'm doing, you're doing what you're doing.
Well, you know, I went there, but I don't remember, because I was on Quaaludes probably, you know what I mean? But I was more of a Mud Club guy, I gotta admit, and I hated Studio 54. I was the only person, well, no, other people hated it. Disco sucked. I fucking hated Studio 54. But I did love this place for their movies. That's what I remember, their movie series. It's like a high school reunion from hell or something.
My name is Barry Shills, and this is a video that I made at Club 57 in around 1980, I think. Yes, 1980. But this was Lady Wrestling Night at Club 57. I was one of the fortunate people to have a video camera back then. And I shot a lot of the events there. The one downstairs is the Lawrence Welk show, where all the girls got dressed up and acted like, you know, every night it was something different there. I love it, it looks great, but I like garish color. So if anyone's listening, yank it up.
So Club 57, Ann and I met in 1977 in London. We were students.
I was witness to their
Before
meeting.
I met you, I met Ann. But that was a significant year, 77. It was the beginning of punk. New York was very depressed. I was a New York kid. I ended up coming back to New York. Ann was already here. She introduced me to the East Village scene, CBGB's, and Club 57. And she said, come and be in this show, New Wave Vaudeville. And I joined the show. I joined the circus, basically. And I dropped out of Columbia. I was going to Columbia. Remember, we were in a film class together with Michael Oblowitz. I made some films. They're in the show. Some films that he shot, that he art directed. They're beautiful black and white footage from '79. That's part of the show. It was a rock video that we never finished editing. We finally edited it. It took 35 years, but it was worth it. I mean, people drop names of Keith Haring and Jean-Michel Basquiat, but come on. Kenny Scharf is a god, an art god. Frank Holliday, an art god. Scott Covert, Ann Magnuson. I mean, the list goes on of incredibly interesting talent.
I'm Daniel Durning. I created self-contained housing. This piece is a coat made out of Corning fiberglass insulation, thermal plastic, fiberglass window screening with a 2-inch trim with venting. It's a very warm coat, and it was made in response to my dilemma of how do I heat the spaces I was looking at, which were cavernous. In Brooklyn, loft spaces were available, but you couldn't afford to put up a wall if you were a poor, broke artist. But you could get the space. I almost fainted in it at Club 57. So it's too hot, and you should not drink while wearing this coat, okay? That's all I can tell you. It was Pink Panther pink when I originally created it, so.
Looks like a meat coat now.
The devil knows his meat.
My friend Peter, who played in a band called the Flesh Tones, were going to be opening this club. They were having a hard time finding places to play, and they heard about this church basement. So we go in, and it really was like this uncanny experience because you could feel it in the air that there was something electric about this room. And fast forward, Ann Magnuson was the next connection I had, and she basically had this calendar, and she was looking to put people on the calendar, and it just became these amazing one night after the next. I've been pouring through the catalog, And there are so many different stories that are associated with all these different events. Things are just being made up on the fly, and then they would make these incredible shows out of it. Wrestling night. There's one in the book called National Geographic's. I don't remember it, I don't know what it was, but I'm sure there was some kind of an amazing party that night.
My name is Ann Magnuson, and I was the second manager of Club 57, and I'm the guest curator of the exhibit here at MoMA. Well, I was in New York starting in early '78. I came here to be an intern, a directing intern at a theater uptown. And I met Tom Scully, and he told me about this new wave vaudeville show he wanted to do. And I said, can I direct it? And he said yes. And he introduced me to Susan Hannaford. And our various scenes commingled, and the vaudeville show happened, and Stanley Strakaki saw it and invited Tom first to come to the club. And he told us all about the small Club 57 at 57 St. Rex Place. And then they offered me the job of being the manager, Stanley. And the rest is history.